Hello, writers. RJ Thesman here with more tips for your writing life. You know, all of us have families, whether they are families of biology or adoption or the village around us. And most of us have somebody in the family who has some kind of secret. It may be in the past, it may be right in the future, or in the present, and it may be a long time ago ancestor, or it may be something you're dealing with right now. Some secrets can be very positive and wonderful, some secrets not so much. So what if we want to use family secrets as plot lines? How can we do that in a way that's good for all of us and that feeds our creative spirit? Well, one of the things to remember is to really know the facts. So do your research. Whether you have a diary from somebody through the years, whether you have genealogical research, or whether you just go somewhere and really check out the family line. Know the research and know the research that deals not only with the person in the story, but all the demographics and the culture around the story. So know your facts. Another thing to be aware of is to cover your bases. Because when you start writing about family secrets, family plot lines, there are some people that are going to be angry with you. There are some people that maybe won't appreciate what you're doing. If at all possible, get permission slips from the people that are involved. Cover your bases. Make everything that you do legal. Because the person that you're writing about, Aunt Sally or whoever, may not mind if you tell the story, but down through the years, her children or grandchildren may not be too excited to know that you told Aunt Sally's story. Or if your book becomes a bestseller, a blockbuster movie, or something like that, the children down the line, the grandchildren down the line may want royalties from that when you really didn't intend to share it with the rest of the family. So you want to have a really good release form that carries you through those kinds of legal issues. Also, one of the easiest things you can do is change names, change locations, make up a fictitious town. You can even change the gender. Maybe it was Aunt Sally's story, but you're going to tell it from Uncle Dan viewpoint. And so that kind of puts people off the trail and makes it even more secretive, more anonymous. So be sure that you cover your bases. Then you can be creative with other plot lines. So it might be Aunt Sally's story, but you may have a really strong secondary character, Uncle Dan or somebody else, that you can bring in that would be creative. It would be what we call faction. It's fiction story, but it also has some facts in it, so faction. So you can do that by being creative with other plot lines and kind of covering up a little bit some of the things that did happen within your family or within that topic that you're trying to create in your story. Plots can also be built around settings and demographics and historical events. For example, how many stories have been written around the event of the Titanic and all the drama and trauma that happened during that time? But each story tells it from a different viewpoint or from a different angle, and so it's fresh, it's new, but everybody understands and relates to what happened with the Titanic and when it sank. So you can do that as well with your story. You can tell it around some kind of an event, some kind of a different location or a demographic, a different setting, and so you can disguise it in a little way that way, but at the same time keep that commonality so that your readers will really understand it well. So whatever you want to do with your ancestors' stories, there's rich stories in our past history. There's the talking about and telling about and showing about how people lived through the Depression and the wars. And one of these days, we're going to be telling about how people lived through COVID-19 and the difference it made in our world. So think about all these things when telling your family stories. Make them rich, make them true, make them authentic, but disguise them a little bit. But above all, keep writing because your words matter.